Well, we're going to start with these fighting matches. I know we were talking about some matchups last episode. So now Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao are having a rematch being planned for September, with the Sphere in Las Vegas being looked at as a possible venue. Mace, talking about matchups, what do you think of this one?
I really don't like to even talk about this. Manny Pacquiao in his last outing didn't look like the Manny Pacquiao of old. So this is not something I'm looking forward to. So I know Killer said something last time we taped that, this is not how I want to see Floyd fighting. If you're jumping out there, jump out there. You TBE, you're the best ever. The money team. I'm for it. I'm supporting it. I really don't like Floyd fighting, but if you're going to fight, it's better that you don't tarnish the legacy and just stay going for greatness. That's what I would say.
Like I said, when we talked about this yesterday, I told you the fights that I would want to see. This isn't one of the fights I want to see. I didn't want to. The first one was whack. The first one to me, a lot of people will say it was past their prime and everything else. I didn't think it was past their prime because they both was kind of active. Of course, Manny Pacquiao was fighting a lot. But the first fight really wasn't a good fight. It was kind of boring to watch. We know Floyd's skill level was superior. Manny Pacquiao heart.
Yeah.
If you want to revisit it. But on a serious note, I didn't like the first fight. I don't think this fight will be better than the first fight. But if Floyd, like I said, we both agreed that we don't necessarily want to see Floyd fight. But if he's going to fight, this isn't one of the fights that I would want to see. Would I watch it? Yeah, I would watch it. I'm watching any fight Floyd does. But if you're asking my opinion on people who I want to see Floyd fight at this particular time in life, Manny Pacquiao isn't one of them.
Okay. So, Mace, I know you use the term like tarnishing legacy. So across all sports, how do you feel about people who unretire? Do you automatically see that as like you're tarnishing your legacy, or do you think that there are some exceptions?
No, I think once you retire, there's a separation of the greatest period of your life, right? And then there's this continuance. It's almost like a continuance. It's like seeing Jordan out there in 45. We know that's not 23, but we're happy to see him playing. But when it comes to things such as this, I'm not sure of how this goes. I know Father Time catches up to everybody, and I just don't want to see. And that's my own concern. This has nothing to do with Floyd. This is no shot against him. But I just don't. I don't want to see him lose at this time in his life with everything else that people are saying. I just think that would tarnish the legacy of money, Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? That's the Floyd that I want to remember. You know what I'm saying? So and when situations happen, just like we saw with Devin Haney, right? At one time, Devin Haney was like, he's going to be the next Floyd. That one fight kind of shifted everything, right? But he could still get to that place where it's like, this is a dominant fighter. This is an undisputed fighter. But certain criteria just go out the window. Unless he stops Ryan Garcia in a rematch, then you could bring back that legacy. But I think as of right now, the same with Floyd. I wouldn't want to see him lose that.
Just to add on to what you're saying, before I answer your exact question, it's hard for the Devin Haney situation because, like you said, you can't unsee what you've seen. But nigga on roids.
Yeah.
We don't know what else he was on. So it's like, damn, man, we seen that. But, I remember we jumped a nigga. Nigga was on meth, and he was like, why y'all keep hitting me? It was like 14 niggas hitting him. He was like, why y'all keep hitting me, though?
Like he didn't really
feel he didn't feel nothing, I know the next morning he woke up crazy. It wasn't like we just randomly jumped a nigga. Nigga, we was in the Sony studio in New York, and some nigga just came in there high and jumped on my engineer, and we didn't even notice things. So everybody in the studios hitting the nigga, and he's just like, yo, why are you hitting me? We don't know what effect them steroids or whatever drugs you on. So, but like May said, it's hard to unsee it, but I don't want to hold that against Devin either, especially as good as he looked against Norman. Back to your original question, Stat, and the way Mason answered, I thought what you used with Jordan was a great way to put it because it depends on when you retire, right? So when Jordan retires after the first time, we're excited to see him come back because not only did he come back, he came back and won 3 chips. And you like, when you're retiring in your prime and don't wait too long to come back, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Then when he retired again, I didn't want to see him with the Wizards. I didn't mind the retired 45, come back, switch to the 23 Jordan. I was good with that. They won 3 chips after that, but I didn't want to see the Wizard Jordan. Even though his numbers with the Wizards is better than some niggas in the NBA numbers as career-wise. I'm just saying it wasn't the Jordan I was used to. Same thing with Floyd, right? Floyd retired, then Marquez called him out. Nigga like, oh, word? Bet. I ain't doing nothing. I'll come fuck him up real quick, but it was a good time. I'm not saying it's not a good time in Floyd's life now. I don't want to put his birth certificate in front of his skills and everything else, but Mesa is right. Father Time catches up to somebody eventually. It just hasn't caught up to him yet. I hope it doesn't catch up to him anytime soon. I'm definitely rooting for him. But, when he came back to fight Marquez, it wasn't even like no thought with Floyd win or lose. It was like, okay, this nigga's still kind of in his prime. So I think about when you're retiring, how long you retire for, and when do you come back, to answer your question, Stat, about exactly does it tarnish your legacy when you try to come back. And especially if you try to come back, and I'm not saying Floyd, I'm just saying people in general, when you need money, it looks crazy. You know what I'm saying? I think that's when it's really bad, when you're saying, damn, I got to do this for this. Because we've seen people in situations where they come back and do things for money, and you can tell it's for the money. It's not really for the love. So, and I'm not talking about Floyd. We're just talking about athletes across the board, you said. So.
Okay.